don't know when I'll turn it in, but yeah, might as well.
And I'm trying to make it like simple. Like my thing is I always go like all in and I spend a bunch of money on something and then it fucking is stupid.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, a bunch of money's all relative, but I want to do it small. Speaking of that, where's the third camera?
It's over there. You can see it. It's on the chair. But
so you're only doing 2?
Only 2. I could do the third, but I thought if I did the third, I would want stuff on the background.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because like I was just stressing myself out so much about what to have on the background here.
Yeah.
And what to have like behind my head and stuff. And then I like set this up and I'm like, dude, you don't even see that stuff.
Yeah.
And when I used the middle camera, I didn't really use it in the video.
Honestly, I love that you got rid of it because it's just more. But if you're keeping that, keep it. But if you want to make a few bucks, I'll buy that back off you.
Oh, no, I'm keeping it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Keeping it for now. I think what I want to do is if this starts getting off better, I'll have my friend come in with me and actually like record while he's holding it, and he could get different angles and get cool stuff while we're just talking.
Yeah.
Because the stationary stuff's good, but like the very high level stuff is all moving cameras. I mean, those people have it on like those tripods that move around and stuff, but you know, I don't know. I would like to make it as beautiful as possible. That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
No, production quality definitely matters.
Yeah.
Not as much as consistency, though.
Yeah. What are you doing for your school community?
I'm going to do basically what I'm doing in real estate. I want to talk about it. I think it's a cool model from not just the behavioral health sector, which is obviously what I'm doing, but just kind of giving people the idea that you can do real estate completely differently. For example, I set up the whole deal and then go find the property. I just think that in general is different. I think real estate, almost every business uses real estate. And I don't think people quite realize how many businesses out there need real estate, whether it's a commercial building, which is a little more difficult to serve because they can just lease something, right? Like a little commercial spot. But in the behavioral health sector, they all need property and they don't want to own property because they're not property managers. So it's not just like, hey, let me buy a property and then lease it to somebody. It's like, no, let me find the tenant and be like, what do you need? And then I'll go find that for you. So, as Harmozy calls it, the $100 million offer. I didn't realize it at the time. I had actually never even heard of that when I started this business. But like, I literally created a $100 million offer. And hi, my name's Dan. I will locate, find, purchase, and rehab a house for you and build it back so you can start a business with no money.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, holy fuck. Now I'm getting into the window thing. And it's like, how do I create that? Like, I just want to sell you windows. It's just not, the offer's not as good. Free quote. Everyone in their mother does a free quote.
Yeah, it's so hard.
So
it's hard with that stuff.
So I was like, wow, what I did was really cool. And I didn't realize it at the time. And also, I never wanted to do this because I was afraid. I didn't want people to copy me. I was like, this idea is too good. I don't want to sell it. And it's like, that's why I should do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. It'll draw some eyes.
It'll work.
That school stuff is cool. I've looked. Well, I guess I haven't really looked like deep into it, but those ads are all around my Instagram and
I'm gonna kind of do it like Harmozy. Like I'm gonna do a free, like most of the big operators. I'm gonna do free and provide a lot of value for free because the goal for me is to be like, hey, even if you don't have the money to do this, talk to sober living operators or behavioral health operators in your area and refer to me. Maybe I'll partner with you on the deal. I want investors to see it.
Yeah.
I want to bring investors in. Because it's realistically not a lot of people are going to be able to do what I do, which is like just go buy houses for people. But there's going to be a lot of people who maybe own 1, 2, 3 houses and they're like, hey, I got one that could work. It's got the location. It's close to the public transportation. Everything this guy's saying could work. Like, hey, could this work? And it's like, sure. And then if you want me to like consult with you and work with you, help you find our operator, use the script that I use to actually email blast, go onto the websites where you can actually find state certified operators. Now I can actually help you make that a reality and pay for that. Right? I think that's what Harmozy says. Just give the idea away for free, sell the implementation.
Yeah.
Because now you're providing tons of value to people for free where they're going to be like, hey, I want to do this. Can I give you money? Rather than just you run a paid ad like, join my school group for $150 a month. It's like, who are you?
Yeah, there's so many people that like try and sell the idea. And no one wants to buy an idea.
That's loser. No one wants to buy anything from someone who isn't actually doing it.
Yeah, and they don't want to spend money on something that isn't giving them results.
Correct.
Or they don't know will give them results.
Sure.
Like all those courses and stuff. It's so dumb. Dumb.
I think there's a lot of value. And I just think even the idea of giving away free stuff will drive traffic to what we're doing to be able to have investors reach out. And,
yeah. And it seems like the whole idea of school is like doing well. So that'd be cool.
It's crushing.
All right. I guess we'll just go right into it.
Sure.
first thing I have written down is that every time I talk to you, you seem to have chilled out a little bit.
Sure.
Why do you think that is?
Not weed. I don't do that. It doesn't make me chill. But growth. It's a great question. I would say growth, maturity, more comfortable in my own skin and what it is I'm doing. Honestly, probably confidence, less imposter syndrome in terms of, granted, I'm not running a podcast or anything like that, so I don't know who I'd be an imposter in front of, but maybe myself and in the mirror. Children will humble you, make you kind of think about what actually matters. So I'd say I was really gung-ho, excited, make a lot of money, do stuff, realizing how hard it is. And it kind of humbles you, makes you take a step back, and also focusing on what's important in life, which is not just making a lot of money, but why are we doing it? We're doing it for freedom, to be able to chill, you know? So it's like, if you can't be chill, what's the point of anything? I'd probably say, not that I consider myself a chill guy, but I do know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's weird. I haven't known you well for a while, but I don't know. It seems like every time we talk, every like 6 months, you just seem to, I don't know, be
Chilled
different.
out.
Yeah, in a good way. You lost a lot of weight?
I did, yeah, 50 pounds about.
Yeah. Why'd you do that?
I want to be healthier, of course. Just tired of, obviously, to look better, right? Anyone who says that's not why they did it is a liar. So looking better was a big motivation for that. But I'd probably say I don't like looking in the mirror and seeing something I'm not proud of. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very frustrating to live with that day in and day out. And you know how they say it's not the journey, it's the view, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, it's
No,
not
they
about
say the other way.
It's not
about the view, it's about the journey.
Sorry, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about the view, it's about the journey. And I think it's not about either. I think it's about the person you become throughout that process. So I don't think having a six-pack makes you confident. I think just knowing you're the guy who can do it, or girl.
Yeah.
And losing that weight in a relatively short amount of time. Say I lost 50 pounds in 12 weeks by just eating good, walking 20,000 steps a day, going to the gym, but nothing crazy. Very doable. Could be a whole school community just on that, honestly. So I think people underutilize walking. Takes time, but anybody can do it.
Yeah, I was listening to Will Tennyson. Do you know him?
No.
He's
I might, but
he's a big like fitness guy, and he lost. He was a lot younger than you were at the time that he was doing it, but he lost 100 pounds in under a year, and he attributed it a lot to just walking. A lot of walking, and he still does a ton of like I think he says 12,500 steps a day.
Yeah, decent
around
amount.
there. Yeah. What do you do?
I did 20,000 for, I don't know, 80 straight days. So it's over 10 miles. It's 10, 11 miles. So people don't realize that if you're running burns more calories, of course. No one's going to deny that. But if you run 30 miles a week, it's pretty good, right? There's only 7 days in a week. So you're running at least 4 miles a day. Well, I'm not doing that, but I'm doing the 20,000 steps a day. So I'm walking 70 miles a week. And I don't have nagging knee injuries. I don't strain my calf. I don't have blisters on my feet. I just go. And since then, since I've kind of got to my goal weight, I guess I've definitely chilled out in trying to hit that. But you buy the Fitbit, what gets measured improves, right? Hard to walk 20,000 steps a day if you're not doing it. Track it. It will improve 100%. You want to lose weight and you're fat, you don't know how, just get on the scale every day. That will improve it because you're only going to watch it go up and up and up for so long before you're like, I need to do something about this. You're either going to stop tracking it or you're going to do something about it. I'm a big believer in that. So track the calories, the Fitbit app. What's the Fitbit? $150? Maybe less, $100? Can't remember.
I don't have one.
Put it on your wrist, get to 20,000, 15,000, whatever it is you want to do. You get to it, but it's not as hard as people think. You just, every time you're on the phone, walk. Anytime you listen to a podcast, walk. Just do it. And outside is a lot better.
Yeah.
Treadmill's tough.
On the phone too.
Phone's the best.
Yeah. I hear a lot about like, it's weird. When I'm on the phone, I tend to pace around. I know a lot of people do that.
Sure.
But if I really focused in, and I mean, I guess I don't have to lose weight, but if you do want to lose weight and you're on the phone, a lot of people have phone calls for work. They have multiple phone calls a day with their family. Just walk.
Yeah. I would do 4,500 steps. The average American walks less than 6,000 steps a day. I'd do 5,000 in a 1 hour phone call around my above ground swimming pool. And I know because sometimes at night when I needed to get to 20,000, I'd be bored and maybe I didn't have headphones on, so I just walk and count. So I knew it was like depending on how big my strides were, it was between like 46 and 49 steps every time because I would just count. It's boring, but so it's 50 steps around the pool, and I would get to 5,000 just walking around the pool. But I would be out there. I'd play Fortnite with John, and then it would be like 11:40, and I'm like, all right, I need 2,000 more steps. I know I can get 2,000 steps in about 10 minutes, so I gotta go. And I go walk around.
Yeah.
And then 10 miles a day. And before you know it, you're like, wow, I walked 800 miles in a pretty short amount of time because it's just the power of just doing it day in and day out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Who do you think motivated you to lose the weight?
I don't know what motivated me, but I know my in-laws started this like little program where there was a pretty low calorie diet. That's how I got started on it. It was a really low calorie diet. So I saw them losing weight. So I was like, whatever, I'll just do it. It starts off with like only like 1,200 calories a day though. It's too low for me. But I did that for a week and I lost a lot of weight. But I could just kind of tell this isn't healthy long term. But just by tracking the calories, I stayed at 1,500 or under for a while, which is difficult to do. But I did it while walking 20,000 steps a day. And the weight was just melting off. I was losing like 4 or 5 pounds every single week for a while.
Yeah.
Which, not saying that's healthy. It's probably not the best way to do it. But you get the results. And then since then, I've just crept it back up to like 2,000, 2,500, depending. And I'm maintaining. And I've gone through it, so I know I can do it again whenever I want, I'm just a big believer in sometimes you need those fast results. So just go do it. People are like, that's not healthy. 1,200 calories a day. It's not. Like, I don't disagree with that, but neither is you've been doing 4,000 a day with fast food for the last 12 years, and you're worried about 12 weeks at 1,500? Let's get real here. I'm not saying it's the best. It's like people who do 7-day fruit detoxes. Well, what about your protein? It's like, dude, this guy been eating McDonald's for 20 straight years, and you're worried about a week of only fruit? You think he's going to die?
Yeah.
People like to critique what other people do, but the reality is, you lose 50 pounds in 12 weeks, you feel pretty good.
Yeah. How'd you feel in the process?
The first week was hard, sugar withdrawal and all that. I still haven't had bread in probably 18 weeks, 19 weeks. I just don't eat bread. Mm-hmm. But no rice. Wasn't doing rice.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of ground turkey.
I heard sugar withdrawal for a lot of people can be harder than nicotine withdrawal.
Oh, yeah, it's brutal.
Do you think which is worse? I know you've attempted both.
Sugar's probably tougher. Sugar's hidden in everything, I don't know. It's hard. You have to eat. You don't have to smoke, right? So you kind of have to, right? A lot of habits are the habit, picking up the cigarette, smoking it, even drugs, the whole process of snorting something, or it becomes like an obsession. Just like with gambling, people get addicted to placing the bet. They get addicted to driving the casino, the smell of the casino. When you're truly in addiction, it happens. And you feel the same way when you say you're going to eat healthy, and then that food starts cooking, it smells good. You're upstairs eating 7 ounces of ground turkey with honey mustard on it because it's 40 grams of protein with only 290 calories, and everyone else around you is eating pasta with garlic bread. And yeah, that's addiction. It's very, very difficult. And then once you get your mouth on it, it's hard to stop, right? That's why it's like, oh, you could have one little piece of Hershey's chocolate every day. It would never do anything to your diet. It's just hard to do.
Oh, yeah.
Let me get one bite of a steak and cheese. It's like, why even torture yourself like that? So it only takes like 2 weeks though, and then you don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah. That's the thing with snacks. Like you take one Pringle and you eat the whole can.
Isn't that Lay's chips? They're like, I bet you can't have just one. That's like their whole slogan.
I have no idea, but
that's their slogan. They know.
I totally get it though.
Yeah.
Salty and sugary stuff is always just
Good.
super addictive. Even me, and I've never been the type to like really care about the taste of what I'm eating. I do. I want quality food, and I appreciate a good meal, but I don't really care. I see it as like food is fuel. But
yeah, that's a big thing. It's hard to do, but when you kind of switch your mindset from I need to eat to live, I'm not living to eat. People base their whole lives, Sunday dinner, going out to eat, birthday parties, a reward for something.
Breakfasts all the time.
Kind of gets, ingrained in us as children. If you behave, I'll give you a piece of candy. I'll give you a lollipop. I'll give you, it's like a reward to eat garbage.
It's true. I've been off of cane sugar for probably 3 months.
That's good.
Maybe even longer.
How you feeling?
Good. I don't feel 100%, but yeah, I feel pretty good. I've been doing like low sugar for a long time though. I have a lot of fruit, so that's sugar. But yeah, cane sugar. It's just everything that like for the past like 2 years, I've been trying to be like only healthy stuff, and that's just a generalization, which mostly rules out a lot of sugary stuff.
Sure.
And plus, a lot of the stuff that I can't eat anyway has sugar in it, like Pop Tarts. My roommate has a lot of Pop Tarts, and they have gluten in them, so I never really ate them. Brownies, cookies, stuff like that. I couldn't eat anyway. So,
Yeah.
And ice cream. I've done no dairy for a while as well, so it's like I don't know. The sugar wasn't really the hard part. It's more just like the dairy's tough. The dairy's tough. I've been having coffee creamer, which, that's very pure dairy, so it's probably not the best for me to be having it if I'm having any dairy. But
What made you do the gluten thing? Like, what's the sensitivity? What were the symptoms you were feeling?
the gluten.
Yeah, because you're not like a big fat guy. So what made you decide to do that?
Oh well, gluten has been a long time. It's been over 10 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I was in 4th or 5th grade, I legit was so sick, couldn't eat anything. Probably 3-4 months straight in the summer, I ate a piece of toast every day. That's all I ate is like 1 piece of toast or 2 pieces of toast with butter and cinnamon on it. And I lost a ton of weight. I went from 70 pounds to 50 pounds in 3-4 months. I got a ton of scans done, x-rays, camera up the nose, down my throat. When I was younger, I used to eat pasta, spaghetti, and I would always say, like, Mom, I can't swallow it. And they didn't think anything of it. They just, because I never ate much when I was younger. I was tiny. And then my mom's best friend, her daughter, was lactose intolerant and gluten intolerant. And they basically said that she kind of went through the same thing.
Sure.
And my parents, but legit, like, my parents thought I had cancer, bro.
Whoa.
But I was so young that I didn't really think of it. Like, I didn't think I just thought I was sick. Like, you don't think, oh, I might die. Like, I was so young, I didn't even think of that. So, yeah, no gluten for the past 10 years. I got off gluten, and then not even a week later, I was, like, eating normal, felt amazing. But I was super bloated. And the weirdest thing is, when I have gluten now, and I haven't had it in a while, so I know the sensitivity can go away. But when I was having it, I would get really depressed. It's weird. Like, I can't help it. I just get super depressed, super bloated.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a good story, though, for people to know.
It's crazy. It's weird. Like, I do remember parts of it. I wasn't that young where I don't remember it, but
I get depressed when I eat bad food like that. There's no doubt. I don't feel good mentally, But changing your eating habits isn't going to face everything, With all the addictions out there, scrolling, TikTok, all the endorphin rush from the phone, porn, right? A lot of people watching porn. There's just so many different things that are pulling people down a bad path that I think sometimes they think, oh, if I eat healthy, it's going to fix everything.
yeah.
It will help. I think exercising is the easiest way to make a lifestyle change, though. I do. Exercising and eating right. It's like you can just start it now. Whoever's watching this can start it literally right now, starting next meal, right? With business, You can't do that, and you can't really screw it up, especially if you're eating like trash. Eat a little better, and you can start making improvements right away.
Yeah, you see improvements very fast right away. That's one of the. It's probably the only thing that you can do in your life that you really find results quickly.
Yeah.
Most stuff in life takes a lot of work to like see results in business and relationships and stuff. But I don't know. You just go. You could shut this off right now. Go to the gym, and you'll feel great about yourself after. It's also one of the only things where. Do you know what a pump is? Like, you know what a pump is?
Like working out?
Yeah, like after you say I do a bunch of curls, like my bicep's gonna look bigger for a certain amount of time. You get a peek into the future of like what I'm gonna look like if I keep doing this.
Yeah, it's like future you, because it does grow. You can grow like a half an inch on a bicep.
Yeah, just from doing a few bicep curls. It's pretty crazy.
Sam Sulek made that popular. He calls it a freaky pump. You ever watch Sam Sulek?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he made the pump popular.
I got him on the. I was probably near like the like mid part of his blowing up. That was really crazy, him blowing up. He's already kind of irrelevant. I mean, I'm sure he still gets 150 times as many views as he used to, but it's...
He's still getting over 100,000 views every video. And he uploads boring videos every day.
Yeah. I watched a lot of them. Yeah.
It's good.
Did you ever watch them?
Oh, yeah. All the time.
Yeah.
I like Training Till Failure because of him. I think it's a cool... I like his workouts. 8 sets, hard sets, in and out.
Yeah.
He's a beast. And he's interesting because he's not trying... It's not fancy cuts and edits and music and things in your face. It's just like him talking in the car. And then he goes and he lifts and he shows off his pump and then he like talks on the way home and that's the whole video. And it's 40 minutes. He must crush it financially because his retention's pretty high.
Yeah. Yeah. There's like 2 extremes on the fitness space online. It's like him, where it's boring, basically just a guy with his phone camera, just recording himself talking, and then raw, no music, no edits, just full sets. And then there's the opposite side, which is like Jeff Nippard. We talked about him the other day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah. It's crazy how like both of those people I'm super drawn to, but they're so opposite.
Well, yeah. Well, on many ways, they're opposite too, especially from like the anabolic
Lifting.
steroid use and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But Jeff Nippard puts a lot more thought into his videos. There are the edits. A lot of he does like peer review study. He likes to back things up with facts, whereas Sam is just like, it's almost just a vlog.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
And they're both incredible. You know, Jeff's going to get millions of views because it's such an impressive video. The production quality is so high. The time he puts into it's good. Sam's not going to get 5 million views, but man, you can also, when you're just putting in a tripod in your car and then a tripod at the gym, now all of a sudden you're like, wow, this guy uploaded 6 hours of content this week and it crushed.
Yeah.
So he probably makes just as much, if not more money, at least at his peak.
And it probably adds not even a full hour to his day.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Of work.
Yeah,
It's like he's going to the gym anyway. Yeah.
He's probably paying some guy like $1,000 a month to just like, or maybe a little more but it's not like high end stuff. Like, what's the guy taking? 1 cut, 2 cuts, 3 cuts, 5 or 6. Like, he might even be doing it. I doubt it.
I'm sure he started doing it.
With that level of income. Whereas a Jeff Nippard video is going to take 2 weeks.
Needs to hire high level editors.
And that's just editing, let alone sometimes he does like 8-week studies throughout it. These are big, you know, the extreme level of that would be Mr. Beast. I know that's not gym related, but months and months and months and millions of dollars.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. People, there's 2 sides to it. It would be cool if I could go the route of the Sam Sulek, but doesn't really work in podcasting. Kind of does, but not really.
What, just upload something every day?
No, just like the simplicity of it. You said you like the simplicity of the new studio, but I don't think that really, not in that sense. More just like, what's a good way of explaining it? Chris Bumstead and Chris Williamson just uploaded a vlog together, and they basically just lifted. And Chris Bumstead is like not even 2 weeks out from the Olympia, and he was talking about how vlog's just so much easier than podcasts because they're so, you cut stuff out, you have nothing you feel like you need to talk about, and he compared podcasting to like doing a comedy skit, but like stand-up comedy, but live and with no practice because you're just going in raw. You're hoping that you come up with good ideas and are entertaining.
Yeah, and plus in vlogs, some sort of interruption can be funny.
Yeah, and you're just living your life. I mean, depending on what you're doing. Okay, so I was wondering, did you lose a lot of strength when you lost all that weight?
That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't tracked strength in a long time. Plus, I had gone through, unfortunately, a period of not going to the gym. So when I started this, I don't want to call it a journey. I don't want to dramatize it. But, you know, when I said, hey, I'm going to stop walking all the time and I'm going to, you know, cut the calories down, I hadn't really been going to the gym a lot and lifting either. So I got back into it. I'd imagine, losing 50 pounds. I'm definitely not the strongest I've been in my life. Am I stronger than I was right when I got in? Maybe. Just because I hadn't been going. I mean, I know when I first started, though, with all the weight on, I could do like 6 pull-ups. And the other day I did like 16. Mm-hmm. So, but a lot of that's because I'm pulling up 50 less pounds, you know? So I don't really know. I'd imagine I'm less strong. I'm also not training for strength at all. Everything's 10 to 14 reps, focusing more on like, honestly, like Jeff Nippard's kind of way, stretch and go. With a little bit of Sam Sulek too, though. Like I like going to failure. I'm not a big fan of going in and doing 5 exercises and doing 20 sets like a Jay Cutler. I just like 20 sets per body part is insane. You know, some people like it, but
No reason.
I'm in and out in 40 minutes tops. Tops.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you do any compound lifts like squat, deadlift, bench?
Squatting I do. So like, but I don't go too crazy. I have a knee injury too, which stinks. But no, not a lot of compound lifting. I don't even do bench press. I just do the incline.
Yeah, I was gonna say
dumbbell.
if it'd be tough. I think I can finish my workouts in 45 minutes if I'm not squatting. If I'm squatting,
Leg day is different.
yeah.
Leg day takes longer because squatting takes forever. Yeah, you need way more time in
I need
between the
5
set.
minutes between sets, basically.
Yeah, you need
It
more
is
time in
crazy.
between, and there's just you got to like rack it. There's
Yeah.
just more time involved in that. There's going to the bubbler. Like if I'm doing preacher curls and then I go over and do hammer curls, I don't need to like take a breather and go get a drink of water. Whereas legs are going to do that. Legs definitely take longer because there's also just more to the legs, right? So if you're doing 3 exercises for your quads and then 3 for your hamstrings, right? So automatically you're already doing way more than say for shoulders.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or for chest. I just do
Yeah.
3 exercises for chest. For legs, it's 3 exercises, but for the quads and then the hamstring. So,
And then calves if you do calves.
but I go in and absolutely demolish. I have a arm day, bis and tris. I mean, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
See you later. If you're going hard on the sets, I mean, what are you doing in there for longer than that? Honestly.
Yeah, I've noticed after I do 3 sets, probably one exercise for triceps, I move on to the next tricep exercise, and I can't even like do it. I can't even do it because my arms are already so toast.
Sometimes
the
I just
goal.
do 2 exercises for triceps. The overhead one, the bump, I think we talked about it.
With
Overhead tricep
with the
extension
cables. Yeah.
with the cables, and then just a rope pull down. 4 sets, all to failure. I mean, man, like anything you're doing after that, if you go hard, you're not going to doing dips. Shouldn't even be able to do a dip.
Yeah.
You know, like after a back day, if I could do a pull up after back day, then you didn't do it right, in my opinion.
Yeah. Do you follow a program?
No.
You just go and do what you think you want to do?
Yep. And from a weight perspective, I do it just off of feel when it comes to going to failure and all that. It's very similar. And when you lift the way I'm lifting, I don't get a lot stronger.
Do you think that that's a good idea?
I don't think it's a good idea if you're trying to track how strong you are or if you're trying to make all these measurable improvements. But I'm not carving my body for some sort of competition, and I'm not lifting for strength. So
What's your goal?
to consistently go to the gym for 2 straight years, that's really, I just know if I do that, I'll win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's kind of mine. And I don't have crazy goals when it comes to that. You know, I want to have a 6-pack. You know, that's a goal. But as far as, and that'll probably change. I might get bored of what I'm doing, and then I might decide to lift for strength just because you're mixing it up.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, I do see me pushing myself harder. You know, like grabbing on the incline dumbbell, grabbing the hundreds, just because it's like I hadn't done that in a while, but I'm like, I know I can do it now. So you kind of put the intensity is still growing, but it's not as measured as maybe it should be. But when you're not going crazy hard too, I'm not really worried about getting injured. And that's the other thing. Not getting injured is like number 1 for me.
Yeah.
You know, not just for like making money in my life, but just because then I always get injured and then I can't go to the gym anymore. Happens a lot. I like to go hard on things I do. Just done with it. You know, always
Yeah.
end up with an injury.
Yeah. Has that changed in other aspects of your life too? Not going sort of all in on everything?
Kinda. I mean, I'm an all-in kind of guy, so I really can't. But I am more tactical about how I do everything for sure. Because the whole going all in, that's just result-oriented in a measurable result. But I think like happiness, which is in freedom, happiness and freedom are my biggest things. That's what I want in life. You know, if you're in good shape and you feel good, like you're more free and you're more happy. That's the goal. If the goal is to just lift as much weight as you can, it's like, all right, hop on a bunch of trenbolone, get as strong as you can, have ligament injuries, and have severe mental health issues. You want to be as strong as you possibly can? Go do it. Science-based lifting. They tell you that someone was making fun of Jeff Nippard. They're like,
Oh, yeah.
Science proves that trenbolone improves strength.
Yeah.
So don't say I'm not a science-based lifter. Well, it's not all about strength. Because if it was all about strength, you'd be on every steroid. So people are like, well, that's fair. So what really is the goal? It's whatever. But I think for me, consistency is the goal. Because that's what I lack.
To be strong enough for the longest amount of time, I'd say, is like the most common goal at the gym.
Yeah, getting in there is just a win. Just getting there.
Yeah. I was plateaued for a while. I was sitting around 150-ish body weight, and like I would do what you did, where I'd just go in and kind of be like, oh, what am I going to do today? And then I'd go hit a couple machines and compound lifts, whatever. And I'd just be like, all right, I'm done. I feel done. And I just wasn't really getting any results. That's why I asked if you were on a program. I joined a program, and every single lift now, I'm sore the day after. Every single one. But yeah. No, my lift was yesterday. I did legs yesterday. Dude, my hamstrings today are just toast. But it's been like that after every leg day.
Yeah.
And I love it, and I'm much stronger.
Yeah, and you know what? I think I took your, when you said, do you follow a program? I think I hyper-focused on, are you tracking like sets and weight? Because I do chest, side delt, back, rear delt, arms, legs, 4-day split. I do that religiously.
Yeah.
8 sets, each body part. It's usually 3 exercises. So 3, and then 2. It's like a burnout set. So I guess I can't say I don't follow a program because I do, but I'm not getting in there like last time on the lat pull down, I did 180 for 12. So I'm going to 200 and I'm going to try to get 11. I'm not following it that hard.
Yeah.
Because then the goal is always to just do more and more. And then I get like excursion headaches. And, if you don't know what those are, they're horrible. That's what stopped my last gym run.
I don't know what those are.
It's like, usually it's from tightening neck muscles, but it happened during hack squat. I would hack squat until I couldn't walk. That's what I would do. I just didn't even want to be, I wanted to take the elevator out of the gym because Lifetime has an elevator. That's how we roll.
Yeah.
And
Rich people gyms.
you get to this thing where your neck muscles tighten up so badly that you get this throbbing in the back of your head. Like to the point where when it happened, I got it when I was younger too. It happened on leg press. To the point where it hurt so bad that I was sitting down and people were coming up to me at the gym like, hey, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I get these excursion headaches, but it's so painful. You're grimacing on your face. And then you're like, you try to drink water and it comes back. And then I kept going hard. Then I started getting it during lat pull downs. And then I'm getting it during hamstring curls to the point where I didn't even want to go to the gym anymore. Because it's like, so now I got to go to a chiropractor and because I'm just going so hard. And I'm just like, I'm a 32-year-old dad, not on tons of gear with, you know what I mean? Not flexible, not doing the things I need to do to train like that. It's just unnecessary. And in reality, the goal of training like that is to get results, and then you get hurt and you can't go to the gym and it destroys your results. So longevity is the game.
Yeah. What do you think people miss most about fitness?
What do you mean when they stop going?
No, what did people get wrong about it?
I would say probably overthinking starting, overthinking that because there's so much information. What should I do? What should my split be? How much weight should I do? How many reps should I do? Should I lift like Sam Sulek or should I lift more like Athlean X? Should I do strength-based or hypertrophy-based? Should I, is hack squat okay or do I got to do barbell squat? Should I do CrossFit? It's just that analysis paralysis. Just get in and go and be consistent. Do something for 2 straight years. You will win. It's like investing money. Should I do real estate? Should I do crypto? It's like, I don't know. But all this time you spend thinking about that, you're getting better at nothing.
Yeah, for a lot of things in life like that, it's more like just choose one, stick to that, and you'll find results. But if you can't split it up and do all of them, or else you'll get results in none.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, some people might go, I'd rather run 20 miles a week, but it takes a lot less time. Walking 20,000 steps a day, it takes like a total of 3 hours. I don't have the kind of job where I can do that. Yeah, I get it. The goal is to move this much, burn this much calories, and lose weight. I get it. Wait, you're eating 5 times throughout the day? That's a lot. Like, how's your schedule set up? Like for me, if I'm going to eat 1,800 calories a day, I'd rather eat 900 at noon and then 900 at 9 o'clock at night. Cool, same result, just a different way of getting there, right? If we're both gonna leave here and drive to New York City, and I feel like going up and around and you feel like bombing down 84, like who gives a fuck? We're both getting to New York. That's the goal. So why people get too, well, what route should I take? Should I get the premium gas or should I get standard gas? What kind of windshield wiper should I put on? It's like, dude, just get in the car and fucking go. Stop not going. I would say that's the biggest problem. Now, how does a guy who's been going to the gym for 5 straight years gain size in his chest? That's a different problem that I'm not the guy for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, if you've been doing that for 5 years, you probably know what you have to do. And if not, it's so easy to find out now. But that whole idea of just get in the car and go is kind of what I needed to learn with this. It's like, I don't know. I don't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the best situation. I don't need the best lighting. I don't need the best studio. I just need to, get in the car and go.
Yeah. Every business is such a shit show. And the longer you've been in business, and it's actually hilarious, when you become successful in business and, and by successful, I mean you've made money or you've done something where people are like, wow, that's cool. I wish I could do that. And you realize like how not smart you really are and what a shit show it is behind the scenes and how many problems there are daily. You kind of take that into other aspects of your life, knowing that, yeah, it's getting up and going to the gym. You're going to do it when you don't feel like it. There's also going to be days where you don't go, right? Because a lot of people adopt that mentality. I got to be there at 5 a.m. I'm going to wake up, cold plunge, gym, sauna, home, boom. Like it's like all this like, just get up and go to the fucking gym. Who cares what time you do it? Can you do it for 2 straight years or a year? Because you can get incredible results in 6 months. But a year is going to be way better. I look phenomenal compared to how I looked 4 months ago. But if you want that like really nice body, that's reserved for people who have gone for a year, at least consistently and eating right. It's a long time. That's a long time to be like, I didn't eat bread. Think about it. Like I ate nothing but ground turkey, some Quest bars, and chicken for 120 straight days. That's it. And I weighed everything on the scale. It sucked. But that's what it took. But it also wasn't like super fancy and planned out. I also have a wife who cooks all the food. So
That helps.
that helps. Big time.
Yeah. What have you learned from having kids?
From having kids, I learned. What a loaded question. I'm trying to think of how to word this. I know what I'm trying to say. That some of the most wonderful things in life that make life worth living aren't even fun. Having kids is not as fun as not having kids, but it's way more rewarding. I know Jordan Peterson talks about you don't fully grow up until you have children. He may be right. I wouldn't subscribe to that because there's probably people more mature than me that don't have children, but I can understand that. But that feeling when you got that little baby at home or you have 2 kids, or I can empathize, I can't sympathize, but with maybe someone who has a child with special needs, every parent has this thought in their head like, oh my God, like this is how life is going to be forever. Maybe not literally. They get older. But like, is this baby going to wake up every single night for a year straight? And we got to do these diapers every single day? And then you have 2 kids. Then you have 3 kids. And it's so hectic. And it's hard. It's mentally exhausting. But you just cut everything else out. So then you do have more time for it. And it is very rewarding. And I think having children is the best. I do. But is it fun? Not really. Is it enjoyable? Yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I've heard once you have kids, your happiness scale goes from 1 to 10 to about -10 to +30. It's
Well,
like
yeah.
the worst parts of your life are so much worse, but the best part of your life is so much better. Actually, I think Ben Shapiro said that. Yeah, he did.
Dying alone sucks too.
Yeah.
And although there are tragedies out there that can take your children that we don't need to get into, but obviously that's a reality. But for the most part, most people's children don't die before them. Therefore, it is nice to have something on this planet that you love so much that you probably won't ever lose. You know, you lose your dogs, you lose your cats, you lose your parents. A lot of times you lose your siblings. Everything just like dies.
Lose your business, lose your body.
You can lose your business, you lose your health, you lose your movement, you lose your eyesight, you lose your hair, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't lose your children, and hopefully not the love for them. And there's obviously, the love from them, I should say. There's exceptions to all those rules, but that I'd say is the most beautiful thing about it, is that I'm not going to die alone.
Mm.
And then I can look back and, you know, they've interviewed a lot of people who are in their deathbed. Nobody ever talks about their business or their dog or maybe dog, but they're not talking about, oh, this deal I did, you know. It's all about their kids. What do you want? You have 10 minutes left to live. What do you want? My family. That's all I want.
Yeah.
My kids. You know, you can want your parents too, but they're gone. Sorry.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Oh, God, what was I going to say? I don't remember. It was a good one, though.
Cut.
Oh, I know. Most people... No, I'm not cutting anything.
Go.
Most people want to leave something behind, you know? Like, a lot of people want to leave their ideas behind, or they want people to remember them. But a good way for people to remember you is to literally be another person who's like, that you've grown and that they're partially a copy of you, you know?
Yeah.
And the kids have your DNA. And you nurtured them. There's a lot to say about, like, if you want to leave the world with something, maybe a kid that is a great person is a good thing to leave for the world.
You don't really appreciate your parents, assuming you have good parents, until you have your own children as well. You know, like my father lost his mother when he was 31, 32. She died of ovarian cancer. My brother was 2. My brother was like 3, and I was about to be born in a month or 2. So, and I look at it now, I'm older than that now. So imagine having a child at home, and then you have your wife's about to give birth in 2 days, your mother just died, and you have to press on and do all the stuff that I'm doing in life right now through that. Now, growing up, I knew that story. I knew my Grammy died when I was little. But you don't think about what that does to him. Like, you were just a 32-year-old guy. You just assumed that was my dad. Well, now I am that guy. And you're like, wow, that would really suck bad. And he just got up and went to work and kept it moving. Sure, he made mistakes. I'm sure there were issues. I'm sure there's a lot of things I don't know about that timeline. But it's unbelievable to think about. Buying a house, paying a mortgage, dealing with the stresses of life. You just look at your parents sort of as your superheroes, or they're just dad. Like, dad just goes to work and, you know. These Christmas presents didn't just show the fuck up. You have to go get them. You have to go do it. And your parents lose their parents, and they have financial stress, and they lose jobs, and they go through all that. And you're like, as you start to do it yourself and go through problems, you're like, wow, I can't believe when I was 17 years old, I was such a douchebag to my parents because I thought I knew stuff, but you don't know anything.
Yeah, you make their life so much more difficult too sometimes. I know I still see, I'm not that old yet, but when my parents were having my sister, they were building a house, living in an apartment, literally building a house from the ground, living in an apartment. My dad worked at Costco and was selling bikes on the side and was dealing with his newborn daughter.
Yeah.
It's like all at the same time. I don't even know how that's possible. And then I complain because I don't have enough time to podcast.
Yeah. Like, think
it's
about
like,
this.
what is that excuse? You have no excuse.
If I told you there's a gun, it has a 10-round chamber, and we're going to play Russian roulette. Here you go. Picture the fear you'd feel. You'd be like, I'm not doing that. No way. Horrible. Not doing it. Mm-hmm. That's like, sort of. It's not a perfect analogy, but like, that's what your parents feel when you drink 5-6 beers and then you're like, dude, I'm fine. That's what they're feeling. Mm. If maybe someone's gambling a little too much, maybe someone's dabbling in drugs, maybe your parents, it's the same way you'd feel if I told you there's a 6-inch or a 2x6. Now walk across it. It's 30 feet long, across a mountain. 100 feet, fall to your death. That's what they're feeling.
Yeah, they're like, you'll probably get by, but yeah, there's just the chance that
don't stress.
You don't.
You don't know what it's like to love something more than you love yourself. Because you're selfish when you're young, you know?
Yeah, I think that's part of Jordan Peterson's argument there. Is that you need something that you love more than yourself, and then you really grow up after that.
The fear that comes with it.
And a child's kind of like, it's hard not to love your child more than you love yourself. And there's not much else that in the world that you can love more than yourself. Maybe your partner. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you can attest to that.
It's probably not even healthy to do that. You know, I mean, you got to put people, as a man, at least, you got to kind of put people above you. You put other people's happiness above yours. That typically makes you happier. Typically.
Yeah, I think as anyone, I've always said that if you're upset with yourself or you don't think you're good enough, whatever it is, if you're not satisfied with yourself at all, just go help people. I guarantee you're gonna feel a lot better about yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, half the reason that people do nice stuff is to feel better about themselves, which, sounds selfish, but I don't really think it is,
Yeah. The biggest fear when you have children, the biggest fear is something happening to you and they have to press on and they're not ready. It's scary. You don't want to fail them. You want to make sure that, you kind of set them up to do well, but then you can't spoil them because you fuck them up, and you want to make sure you discipline them, but you don't want to discipline them too much and make them hate you. And it's very hard. It's a very hard thing. But if you're not doing that, like, kind of, what are you doing? Either you're all in focused on business or work or growing, or you're just chilling. Some people like chilling, or you're participating in like hedonistic activities, right? It's just like get money, drink, have sex with random people, right? If that's like what you're into. I don't want to say there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the studies seem to prove that it's not super fulfilling long term.
Yeah. Chris Bumstead also said in that vlog that him and his wife had this perfect plan before their daughter was born, and then once she was born, you just kind of throw that all out the window because you notice, like, oh well, you can't really follow a plan. But he's like, you have to have faith that you have to know that you don't know what's going to happen and you don't have a plan, but you have to be willing to acknowledge that you're going to figure out what to do when the time comes, when the opportunity arises. But that's everything in life too. Like, anyone with success doesn't actually really know what's going on. They're just kind of moving along, making the right decisions along the way.
I love that you just said that, because that right there was a better answer to when you asked me a question, why are you more chill? That is the answer. I have way more, when it comes to work, making money, business, way more belief that I've accepted that things are going to go wrong, but I've also accepted that I can figure it out. And that no one thing, as long as I stick to like a certain principles and I don't like over leverage myself and take on big risk, all the fears are I'm going to lose everything. It's not based in reality, and I don't fear that anymore. So a problem is just a problem.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're bigger than others, right? You're not going to stress if you have a pimple because you're not worried that it's going to make you die. You're not even going to stress if you break your leg because you're not worried that it's going to make you die. But in business, sometimes an ingrown hair can feel like you're dying, and it stresses you out bad, because business isn't as tangible. Mm-hmm. It's not like, oh, we give a prescription for that. It's like, no, there's no doctor. You got to go find it. You got to go find the answer.
It seems like you've also, a way that you've chilled out is that you don't, it's hard to say that you are not an all-in type of person anymore, but when you are all in, it's not like you're expecting the results immediately. I feel like you, especially with like your business ventures, it just feels like that you're willing to take the time. You're willing to be patient and put in the work, even though you're not going to get results right away. And that's something that you definitely, I don't think you had before, where you were more like, I don't know if it's patience. It's probably patience. Like you weren't as patient when it comes to stuff. You were like, I want to work on this as hard as I can so I can get the success, like the podcast. I want to get as many views as quick as possible. And instead
ego
of just,
too. I want to prove to, you're right about that. Definitely the patience thing. I've been beat to death, figuratively, from, what does Mosey say? Everything's twice as expensive and twice as long. Mm-hmm. So if you're like, yeah, it's going to take me 5 years to do this, that'd be 10, right? Real estate, real estate's a 5, 6, 7 year plan. Might be 15. Started when I was 28. It could be 43, right? It's not, you're going to make a lot of money throughout the whole process. But I think I had something to prove. I wanted to prove to people I was successful because maybe I didn't believe it yet either. So I felt like I needed to prove it to people. Now I don't give a fuck. And I don't even, I'm way wealthier and way more skilled in business than I was when I was doing that podcast. But I'm way more like relaxed and I have less to prove. And if I talk to that guy, I'd be like, yeah, man, good for you. Cool. Good luck. It is what it is. I guess my point is that guy thought he was cooler than I think I am now. Because I've just gone through stuff that I've had sleepless nights and just worrying. And then everything always ends up okay. Everything seems to always end up okay for me. I'm happy about that. You know?
I don't think you're alone. People tend to catastrophize everything. Yeah, I do the same thing. But it's just stuff happens, and when it happens, you always seem to just figure out what to do, and when you do it, stuff seems to come back into order, and it's usually fine.
I got that today. I literally woke up this morning. I had to drive to West Brookfield, Mass, which is 2 hours away, handle something, then drive to Belmont, then come here. Took all day. I haven't been home since I left. The first thing I woke up to in the morning was a text from my business partner saying, hey, one of the operators or one of the residents at the house in Greenfield threw a cigarette outside and lit the deck on fire last night. So the fire department was there. Everything's all set. We need to pull a permit, get the deck fixed. Operator's going to pay for that. Also, because the fire department came out, the house is technically zoned office. And they're like, so we need to kind of, basically not change the use, but kind of get it switched from office space to residential, which means put a sprinkler system in. So that, that text this morning probably cost me $60,000, $75,000. But I was like, whatever.
It'll be okay.
Not like whatever, like, oh, I'm so rich. Just like, what am I going to do? Get fucking pissed about it? All right, let's figure it out. Let's go. Where's the money coming from? What is it we're doing? How long is it going to take? Let's get the engineer out there to do it. I already got a quote for that. It's like $6,500, But I also think of the positives. Right now, we're paying commercial tax rate. So the taxes over there are like $1,600 a month. That'll go to half. And then I believe the insurance is way higher because of that as well. So we may save $1,000 a month. Okay, so what if I tap into one of the equity lines and pull out $75,000 to do a sprinkler system at 8%? Well, what's that payment going to be? $600? I'm going to make money off this. Sucks. I mean, I'm not going to, well, I guess technically I will. But like, might as well think about it like that rather than be like, you fucking idiot. How did you let you lit it on fire? It's just all my insecurities coming out. Whatever. I looked at the phone. I was like, whatever.
Focus on stuff you can control.
Nothing. It is what it is. Happens every day. Maybe not that expensive.
Yeah.
Something happens every day. I'm owed so much money. You know?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes wrong, but so it all works out. It all works out. What's happening in real estate for you?
What are we doing right now? A ton. I say not a ton. We're closing on 2 buildings. We're closing on 3 buildings this month, but that feels like not a ton. Buying a property in Connecticut for behavioral health. I'm buying a property in Springfield for behavioral health. And then we're buying a 16-unit property for regular residential multi out in Cleveland. Yeah. So I guess there was kind of a lot going on, but it doesn't feel like it anymore.
Yeah. What was going on with the neighbors at your house that you were having some troubles with?
Yeah. So that particular situation with the zoning, I had to settle with that particular town.
It all worked out, right?
Yeah, they owe me $40,000, and they're giving it to me.
Yeah. The town is?
City, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, because they took the permit away illegally. So that was another thing. Talk about business. Wears on you.
Yeah, no.
City gives me a permit. Neighbors complain about what it is we're doing, even though there's nothing wrong. The property's not even up and running yet. The zoning comes in and just shuts the whole project down illegally. I sue them. It takes 6 months. I'm paying the mortgage on the house for 6 straight months. The damages, loss of rent, everything. Totaled more than that. Attorney's fees. Probably could have got more from them. Settled on $40,000. Project was I bought it in January, supposed to open in March. Here we are in October. Still have to put the fire system in. You fucked me. But what am I going to do? Cry about it?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. I know that was a situation that was on your mind quite a bit, but I didn't know how it affected you.
Horribly 9 months ago. It was horrible. Yeah, I wanted to go in there and shoot them. Maybe cut that. No, I'm kidding. No, but that's like how I felt these emotions of how dare you? How dare you? You're trying to ruin my family right now. I have to pay this. I'm not Johnny Landlord, but if I was, you're literally illegally ruining my life. At least that's kind of what you're trying to do all on the basis that we're going to run some sort of illegal halfway house. And we're not. We're basically getting arrested for the crime that they think we may commit. It's not even a crime, but does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Just judging you. That's like saying, I want to open a bookstore, and then being like, no, because we think you're going to run a liquor store. Like, what? You can do that? You can shut me down because you think it's going to be a liquor store? Doing anything they can to try to drown me financially. But you know what the good thing is? When you're prepared for business and you have money set aside and you're smart, you just punch back. They lose, we win. Haha. It's all that matters. But guess what? Most people, they would have drowned financially, sold the house, and bounced. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to, especially when you're in the right. You know, you want to just keep being there and fighting. But I know a lot of people would have just quit. It's a lot. The stress is like, sometimes the money's just not worth it.
There's some truth to that. But it's also, what does Hormozy say? He talks about how when you first get started in business, all these problems come up. And it's going to be you and you're fighting like a pit bull.
Oh, yes.
You know that?
Yeah.
That is the truest thing I've ever heard. And you got like a stick and you're like, oh my God,
You're
this
fighting
is so
a bear.
hard. And then eventually, you know, like you said, you're slaying the dragon or you're fighting a whole army, you're fighting a whole city, but you just got the tanks and you got the money put aside and you got the lawyers that you need to know. And you have the public opinion because people know who you are. You're confident in who you are. You know the laws. You do things the right way. So it's like we just beat the shit out of them, figuratively. And it's less stressful than back when I first got started. And, you know, a bank quoted or an insurance company quoted twice what I thought it would be. And it's like, fuck, you know? It's all nothing now. I'm like, whatever. But that's the reality of it. And that's part of that whole situation I went through with that city and everything I went through with the other one and just fighting these battles and people screwing me and joint ventures fucking me over and owing tons of money and or losing tons of money, rather. I got scammed by some Nigerian. I made that up. It's not Nigerian, but the name sounded Nigerian, but it was like a scam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like an online scam that like hacked our emails and we ended up, I was supposed to send money to a contractor. We sent $12,000 to some random person. Scammed me. Thousands and thousands. I can think of $150,000. I put $20,000 on a house with a guy who scammed me. Deposit stolen. I lost so much money. Thought it's like, what? We need a sprinkler over there? That caught on fire. You're like, whatever. What's for breakfast? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. I wanted to actually no. First off, what would be your go-to strategy if you had to date in 2024? What would you do?
Online dating.
What are you?
Of course.
Okay. How would you go about that?
Probably dating apps. You know, maybe try a couple. See what works best for you.
What would you have in your profile? Let's say you have to say like a couple interesting things about you. What would you put?
If I had a dating app, I'd make sure I had 5 pictures or more. You want pictures of yourself, right?
Yeah.
A couple selfies, something where you're out and about doing something that you like. Although you don't really have to do that. The better looking of a person you are too, not that I'm that guy, but the better looking you are, the easier this is when it comes to like what your profile needs to look like.
Yeah.
But yeah, have a variety of pictures, maybe something you doing something, whatever. Then I would do short, make the bio short. You don't want to vomit information about yourself because you want mystery. That's what women want, you know? So that's probably what I would do. You know, message me if you want to know more. I'd probably say something like I'm young. I like to have fun. I like to make fun of myself. Always put something like that in there. I like making fun of myself, working. You know, I'd just put very minimal. Didn't create the interest. Because you don't want to just be like, oh, I'm a very self-motivated guy. I love business. I've always had a passion for real estate and making money. I've been out of debt since I was 21 years old, and I've accumulated $800,000 in my checking account. They're just going to be like, this guy's a douchebag. You know? People, they go on and on about either how good they are or about how amazing they are, how they love being romantic, how they desperately want to take you on a date and treat the right woman the right way. Women want that, but they don't want you like bleh, that.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day about when you kind of dump all of your accomplishments in your profile there, they're gonna look for any reason not to date you.
Yeah.
But if you're willing to make fun of yourself and kind of leave a mystery, then they're gonna be like, huh, maybe there's something to this guy. And then, I feel like the hardest part about dating apps is just getting the match.
Yeah.
Getting the date. Because when you're in person with someone, it's so quick to get to know them. Or maybe you don't get to know them, but you really can find out who someone is just by being around them for, doesn't even 10 minutes. You can just get a first impression, like, is this person someone I want to be around?
Yeah.
But you can't get that over a screen, really.
No.
So that's why the mystery is good. That's something that Dan Bilzerian talks about. I know he's hated by a lot of people, and I don't necessarily agree with everything he does, but, I mean, when it comes to getting girls, I feel like he's probably the person to listen to, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, yes and no. I mean, Tiger Woods was probably just as good, but it's because he's super famous. It's not like he's actually better with women. Dan Bilzerian, good-looking dude, confident dude. He's got a huge advantage with the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's not really like talking to a
and
normal
looks,
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, bio, I'd say confident, humble, like to make fun of myself. Like that, like keep it simple. Let them know you're confident, but let them know you're not afraid to, let them know you're humble. Let them, like, just simple like that. Not this word vomit. And then you're right. You need to get in front of people to have the conversation, but how do you get in front of people? You can't sell $30,000 worth of windows through text message, but you need to like use paid ads essentially in order to advertise yourself, because you can't date women if women don't know who the fuck you are, right? Just like you can't sell a motorcycle to someone if nobody knows your company exists. So the dating app is the best way to get in front of a larger audience. Not to like make it sound like a business, but that's the reality of it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's such a meme in this like space that you turn everything. I saw a meme the other day. It was this guy who sent, or maybe it was an ad online. But he was basically saying how like his divorce taught him like door-to-door sales somehow, and it was just like, this is just classic businessman activities, and now here you are turning dating into comparing it to business and marketing.
Yeah, I mean,
it's true. I'm not arguing with what you said, but it's just funny.
yeah,
just funny.
because I mean, how else do they say if you're not on a dating app and they go, I want to meet women, they go, well, you got to get out more. What does that mean? Get out more? Go to the fucking club?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Get out where? You gonna go to the Lego store and try to meet moms? Like, where are you going? Where are you getting out more to meet these women? The supermarket? That's your plan? Your plan is to what? Cold approach people in the fucking mall? It's a bad plan. I'm not saying that it can't work. It's just not an efficient plan. Why do you think most people end up fucking people they work with? Because they're around them. People marry people that they work with. They marry, maybe not like clients, but you know what I'm saying? Like if you have some sort of business and you meet someone, a lot of times it's through work where people have relationships, or someone goes, oh my God, you should date my friend. You should meet my friend Jennifer. I think you guys would really get along. Like, well, how does she know that? Because she knows you and then she knows her. So then they link it together. Not many people. How many people do you know got married because they went up to someone at the bar and was like, how you doing? I'm Joey.
Yeah, literally.
Fucking nobody.
Yeah, I don't. No, I don't know. Any.
Obviously it has happened, but I don't know. I met my wife in treatment. I didn't meet her online, but is that like great? Like, is that like the plan? Go to fucking rehab? No. It's great if you can meet someone like that, but I think in 2024, I think the dating apps, you're insane not to utilize it.
Yeah. It's always around that stuff. It's and that's why I actually was seeing something about singleness and how there's more single people than ever, and it's because people don't go out, and it's like they're not going to churches, they're not going to club, not like drinking clubs, but like run clubs and these other like chess clubs, all these clubs. People don't go to those anymore, and they just don't socialize as much. So that's why there's a lot more single people. But there's probably more people on dating apps than ever. So I'm sure that helps.
Yeah, no, I think it's worth it. We talked about before though, you have to pay the money.
No.
You do.
No.
To get the maximum results, you do. You don't have to.
Well, obviously.
Because they shadow ban you. Telling you. The matches will go up 10x when you give them their fucking money.
Okay.
Because they just release you in front of people. Obviously you don't have to, but it's like going to a meetup where it's like, hey, we're going to get 400 single women and 400 single men, and you go to this one giant hall where you can all meet. And if you pay $300, you get to meet them all. If you don't pay, you get to meet 30 of them. What are the odds you meet the girl you love?
Yeah.
That's how they do it. That's why they make money.
Yeah.
You know, and that's okay. You know, I mean, you need the internet to do it, right? You need a cell phone to do it. You already got one of those. You need a cell phone for Waze. You know, like I'm not using Waze. I need a cell phone. I need internet. So it's just part of what comes with it, meeting people.
Yeah, the dating apps are such a weird dynamic where like the goal of any app would be to keep you on it as long as possible, right? But a dating app, technically, the goal is to get you to delete it and not use it and not pay them.
Yeah, and tell your friends about it though.
It's so weird. It's so weird. Must be a tough business.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, any business is trying to solve a problem, right? It's like, oh man, if we do surgery on this kid and he's not sick anymore.
Yeah.
Do we want his tumors to come back so we can operate on him again? I mean, that's any business.
I'm not sure you want to talk about the medical field in that way because I think a lot of the times, you know.
Maybe on that's true. Maybe on like an elite like level of George Soros and all his boys.
I know what you mean, though.
But the average doctor wants to help you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I could see the argument. That'd be like me selling a bike and being like, well, now he's a bike. I can't sell him. But
yeah, that's like the whole point.
Kind of, yeah, whatever. Last time we did podcast, I got comments. I got 2 comments, and they were very positive about you.
Oh, I appreciate it.
About you. One of them said Murph is top notch. He is an inspiration.
And he's wicked sexy. Did someone say that? Anyone say that?
No.
Nobody said that?
No one said that.
Fair enough. Well, tell that person I appreciate it.
I think I did. But what are you most proud of?
Wow. God, it's so funny. My brain automatically goes to like, there's so much I'm not proud of. You know, this is going to sound lame, but I'm most proud of the fact that I think, I don't know how to kind of explain this better, but I think at my heart, I think I'm just a good guy. Like I mean well. I make mistakes and I do things wrong, but I don't think I ever do anything to intentionally hurt people. I make mistakes and I can be selfish, but I very rarely, if ever, and I am a 32-year-old man now, but I don't really do anything knowing that this isn't good for somebody else, but I'm going to do it anyway, even though it's wrong for me. Ever. When I was young, all the time. All the time. I didn't give a fuck. I would lie about my intentions with women to get what I wanted. I would literally just steal stuff from people. Literally just take your possession and make it mine. It's not good. That's just how I was. And even on things that weren't as important. I can't explain it. I was just very selfish. That's how I thought. And now I'm not like that at all. That's probably what I'm most proud of. In business, I do what I say I'm going to do every single time. You know, like I have a tenant that's behind on rent and they hit me up. This is a business that's behind, not like some guy who's like struggling. They owe me money and he's like, hey man, the bathroom down here is having some water problems. I want to be like, call a plumber and take it off that $9,000 you owe me. But it's like, nope, I agreed to do my portion of it. I could just fuck him over because he's fucking me. But just, I believe in the karma aspect of it way more. Sometimes I'm too nice in business, honestly. I think you guys over at your business are meaner. More mean, more cutthroat.
Yeah. What do you think changed? Why are you like that now?
It's interesting because you could say this is selfish. Fucking bad shit happened to me when I wasn't good. When I treated people badly, bad shit always happened to me. Overall in life. So, call it karma. Call it the fear of God. Whatever you want to call it. I just think if I do wrong to other people intentionally, what goes around comes around.
Seems to.
You know? Like, I don't have to try to make sure that I stay in contact with my mother and talk to her. I don't have to try to make sure that, like, my kids are happy and that I put them above me and my wife. And I don't have to, like, wake up every day and tussle with the idea of, like, should I fuck this guy over in business? Should I hurt him? You know what I mean? Should I screw this customer over? Should I overcharge this customer because it's better for me? Yeah, I know I said that if something went wrong on this job, I wasn't going to charge them more, but fuck them. Like, I don't want to do that anymore, so I'm going to ask them for more money. No, I do what I say I'm going to do. I don't have to try to do that. It's just who I am now. And I love it. I think it's my best quality.
Are you happy?
Overall, yeah, I'm really happy.
Day to day?
Yeah. I still get stressed a lot, but I can't say I'm not happy.
That's good. That's good.
All in all, if I died tomorrow, people might say he was stressed out a lot, but I don't think anyone would be like a bad guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe people from your past.
Maybe.
I'm kidding.
No, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Well, people
about
that don't know you, of course, will have their opinions, but
Sure.
yeah.
No, there's truth to that.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that you think your ego's gone down a little bit, and I said that I think you've shaved off your ego. Basically, every time I meet you, I think that's another reason why you've chilled out a bit. Yeah, you are less concerned about looking good
Sure.
and looking and just looking like you're successful. Like you don't care about that anymore.
Yeah. Just looking for approval. I wanted approval. I wanted people to know I'm not a loser. I wanted people to know that I'm not that same guy. I'm not a loser. I'm not this. You know, when I'm living for free at my in-laws, it's like, yeah, it's smart. Give a fuck what you think. You know what I mean? I don't care. I don't care. I cared about that before. Because it would be like, yeah, I live for free there, but like, I'm a millionaire, right? Like that was like, yeah, I live free. And if you think I'm a loser, because that's fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, I don't care. Maybe I am a loser for doing it. I don't know. Maybe you're right.
That's probably part of the reason why you're a lot happier now, too.
Right?
Less stressed, maybe.
And you take that away when people are like, you should probably go out and get your own house and do this. It's like, yeah, maybe you're right. And? Yep. Like, oh. And at the end of the day, no one gives a fuck about me. You know?
Yeah, they're too busy. Busy thinking about themselves.
You know what's devastating? I'll tell you something fucking devastating. And maybe you've experienced this, maybe not. But I got a check to me, or my company, for $1,089,000 for me to put in our bank account. We earned it. Pretty sick. You want to know what was so devastating about it? Nobody gave a fuck. That was in like, was this year? Nobody gave a fuck. I thought it was, I thought people were going to be like, you are amazing. How did you do this? Oh my God. I just can't believe how incredible you are. No one fucking gives a shit. That was humbling. So it's like, wait a second. So if the check said 10 million, still nobody's going to give a fuck because people care about themselves and that's okay. So it was like very humbling. It didn't change my life that much. So it's like, what am I doing all this for? I'm doing it for the freedom aspect of it. You know what I mean? That was almost alarming to me because of how fucked up I used to think. That was wrong of me to think that people were going to care. And the people who would ever want to praise me or probably snakes in the grass anyway. Oh, that's so great. Probably people who would want something. Not that, like I said, it's not like I got a check for $100 million and I can give people stuff. It's devastating how far $1 million doesn't go. It doesn't go anywhere. What's it now? It's a fucking house in Pelham. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's not a house in Beverly Hills. But yeah, that was really, really humbling. And then there's like people on Skool.com making fucking $300,000 a month talking about like how to lose weight. I don't know. It's just, there's so much money out there. It's just not an impressive thing.
How long are you, or how far are you along that school path? Have you started it yet?
I have not even started it yet. So that's why we just started talking about it. But I've been watching, typical me. I'm kind of just like watching videos on like how to, but I am going to open that soon. And anyone who watches this, I'll make sure that I let you know. And, I'll put it on my Facebook. You guys can add me on Facebook because I do want to create a school community for free to get people together and talk about what it is I do in real estate, which is a little bit different, kind of focusing on niche real estate, really. I just think real estate is out of all the businesses out there, it's the number one business that everyone wants to get into, but nobody knows how to start. And there's just so much information. And my goal isn't to be like, hey, do this. My goal is going to say, hey, this is what I did. See if you can get value from it. you know?
Yep. Cool. Well, thank you for joining me again for our third time. I really enjoy our conversations, and I do see you as an inspiration as well. And you are kind of like a humble role model,
I appreciate
where you
that.
don't try to act better, but you kind of bring yourself to my level and try to encourage me through stuff that you're going through, even if it's a higher level than me. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah, you know, and I know we're signing off, but that, like, I see you as a 20-year-old kid doing stuff. I know what it was like to be 20. And I remember what I was doing at 20. So in a way, I look at you as above me. Now, I'm further along the journey of life. I've made more mistakes than you. So it's usually means you've learned more. But I don't look at it through the same. What do I need to compare myself to some 20-year-old? Because, like, remember when I was 20? Fucking idiot. So yeah, I think it's great what you're doing. But I won't bullshit you. If I think you can cut shit out, you can get a lot done by the time you're 30. And you don't have to do shit anymore.
Yeah, you're an encouragement to me too, because if I feel like a piece of crap where I am at 20, I can look at where you were at 20 and look at you where you are at now, and it kind of encourages me and think, well, when I'm your age, technically I should be above where you are right now.
Easily.
And
if you really wanted to be.
yeah, that's what I hope. I have a lot of resources, a lot of help, a lot of people that are smarter than me and smarter than you. So
that's for sure.
Around me. So yeah.
Most people are smarter than me.
Yeah. Well, same here. So
yeah.
Well, all right then. Thanks a lot.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Later.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed, please consider liking the video and subscribing if you haven't already. And with that, I will leave you with one of my favorite quotes from the one and only Napoleon Hill. Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. I'll see you next week.